Coming up next month, the 30th anniversary of an announcement that not only shook the city of Los Angeles and the world of sports, but also changed the conversation about AIDS and HIV around the globe. November 7th, 1991 was the day Magic Johnson revealed he was HIV positive. We are taking an in-depth look back at that day in 2 half-hour specials covering every aspect of the story, from the shock and sadness around the announcement to the triumph that has been Magic's life since that day, and also the impact all of that has had on how we now look at HIV and AIDS. Here's just a little sample of what you're going to see.
The HIV virus that I have attained, I will have to retire from the Lakers.
Just like that, showtime was over.
And I thought, oh my God, he's gonna die.
You know, HIV was a death sentence, I think, for a lot of people. That day, it seemed as though everybody thought this was going to be the end.
I was stunned, and I cried.
You think your friend's gonna die, okay? Because that's all you've ever heard. You've never heard anybody overcoming, getting back to a normal way of life.
And grabbed me, and I'm crying, he's hugging me, and he's whispering in my ear. He said, I'm gonna beat this.
People cried, people were stunned, but people turned on him.
I think it's definitely no place to be on the basketball court.
It's one thing to respect a man, but it's another thing to fear him.
Most people thought that it was only confined to gay men.
It's clear, first of all, that I do not have the AIDS disease.
Sooner or later, you were going to get a heterosexual superstar that's going to get infected.
It's like being, your back is against the wall. And I think that you just have to come out swinging, and I'm swinging.
He changed the world. He changed the opinion about HIV positive people. He removed the stigma.
I'm coming back to the Lakers, and I'm playing again.
He showed people that he had hope and that he believed that a struggle, the fight, the interest, the education, all of that could lead to a cure.
God has answered our prayers, and it's going to be all right.
If Magic is living with HIV, well then there's nothing really wrong with you, because we know there's nothing wrong with Magic.
HIV, whatever. This is for everybody that has any kind of handicap or anything. You know, life goes on.
It's not just Magic, he's Irvin the Magnificent.
I want to bring in Tony now, because Tony, I think you and I were one of the few ones that remember the 30 years ago when that news broke. You know, the thing that really is remarkable about Magic, about Irvin, is that he has never shied away from spreading awareness about the disease.
And he's such a resilient person. And for people out there who've never met him, and I know we have,
yeah,
he lights up a room. When he comes into the room, he lights it up. He has this personality that really fills the entire room. It's so
100%.
positive, so optimistic.
100%.
It's what we saw when he first made his announcement. Clearly, you know, he was, you know, down about it.
Yeah.
You know, it's daunting news. But he didn't let it stop him. And I remember exactly where I was when I heard the announcement. I had just gotten into my car, I turned on the radio, and I started to hear the announcement, and I was just passing a park that wasn't too far from my house, and I pulled into one of the parking spaces, and I just sat there, and I could not move probably for 45 minutes.
It was that profound.
It was that profound. I was in tears, and I just remember thinking, this can't be happening.
The fact that what Dr. Fauci was talking about, because remember, this is so interesting to see, by the way, Dr. Fauci, who was, you know, front and center of AIDS research and HIV research then, and now is here with coronavirus. It's very interesting to note that. He talked about the fact that in helping change the stigma, there's a new face, right, for HIV and AIDS. At the time, it had already claimed thousands of lives in the gay community.
I think that's an interesting discussion, and I'm not sure everyone would agree with that. What it did do was expand the face of HIV and AIDS. I don't know that it changed that it destigmatized it, because I still think it's still a stigma.
Change it.
You know,
It helped change it.
Yeah, it helped, but I think it's still a stigma. for a lot of people, even though
is.
we've made so much progress, which is great in terms of treating HIV.
Yeah, and look at him now. You know, you think about his life now. 30 years ago, hard to believe, but again, having a high-profile black,
but he's thriving, he's living, and he's doing it.
Yeah, no, he's doing it. All right, look forward to that. That series is coming up, and we're very proud of it.